Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Little Miss Peanut Buttercup is sitting over here with me somewhere, waiting for her turn to come on screen and say hello to everyone. We have a special show tonight. Well, I think they're all special, and every episode means a lot to me, and I put my heart and soul into it, as you well know. But tonight is especially special. And it's because I need to remind folks that I can't do what I do alone. I can't, and I never have been able to. And I have been graced with the presence of some extraordinary people who have worked ardently to help me in my journey. Sometimes dragging me along by the hair, sometimes breaking into houses and climbing through windows to get me into the house where I was staying and the door was locked. These things happen. But all in all, I have to say that I am eternally grateful. And one of the women that I am talking about, of course, there's Bill, my producer here at KGRA, who this show would not exist without. And of course, Tony Rathman, who was my original producer before it went into syndication and will be back. I feel certain he's on kind of a hiatus, but he'll be back. And I have a lot of people that I work with in the industry, a lot of people that I work with, from writers to producers to directors to all kinds of different people. And everyone who's helped me take a step forward, you have my gratitude. But then there are really close, special people. Greta Riefert, who represents me, who keeps my life in order on paper, who books events for me, who travels with me when she can, who is just a saving grace in my life. I'm so, so glad that she offered, to help me through this. Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Oh my God. My hair's a mess. It's a wreck. Okay. So there's that. Lynn Ann Bowling administrates. She's the administrator for Buttercup Brigade. She monitors all my pages on Facebook. She watches out for me left, right, up, down, sideways. And if anybody needs to reach me and it's something important that you feel that you have to discuss, or that you just feel compelled to reach out, please go through Linny. I call her Linny. She's my Pooh Bear. Because she has a direct line to me at all times. And so I received a message from her today about a mutual friend of ours who's had a loss in his life. So after the show, I will call him. And so it goes, where we help each other and love each other and remain pure of heart in all things. And then there's my newbie. And a lot of you know her now because I've had her on the show a couple of times. She's usually in the chat room. She's virtually my neighbor, if you consider the size of the planet. She just lives an hour and a half away from me. And her name is Erin Bush, and she's going to be my guest tonight. Erin kind of fell into my family. And now her mother and her father, Andrew and Kathy, are respectively, are a new joy, a new addition. It's amazing to me, the people, if our hearts are open, the people that we meet along the path, the people who we know instinctively it's safe to let them in. They, wish you no harm, only good, and would move mountains to do anything to help you. So, and I have been so blessed in my life. Uh, Even before I wrote the books, before the movie, before anything, I've been so blessed in my life to have so many people who were right there to lift me up. Erin didn't know who we were when we met. She was just minding her own business, sitting out in front of a hotel. And out I trot with Princess Peanut Buttercup, the dinky dog, because it's time for a walk. And I looked at her and I had a moment of recognition. And I sat down next to her on the bench and I looked into her eyes and I said, I think you're Arcturian. And she just kind of backed up a little bit. I don't usually spring stuff like that on people. I just felt, we're at Strange Escapes. You're going to run into weirdos. It would be okay for me to just state the obvious. I think you're Arcturian. And she said, I've been told that before. I said, well, they're the brainiacs of the universe. And she said, so I've heard. And that was it. That was it. I took Peanut for a walk. She started talking with Dad. We all introduced ourselves to each other. That was last September. And in that amount of time, we've traveled together. We've done a couple of shows together. And I've discovered that vibrationally, we're on the same wavelength. We are grounded the same. We have the same protective instincts, much like Lenny, being a mom, being, the mother of children, and Max, of course, Max, her dog. And that feminine power, that feminine energy is a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight, about Mother Gaia, about honoring our Mother Earth, our planet. But we're going to talk about a lot more than that too, because there's much to discuss. The plight of the world. This is a time of, we're at a critical juncture. This is a very important time for us to be paying attention to all things. So on those times, I don't like to do repeats when any of you can go to my YouTube channel and peruse it at any time and watch any episode of A World Awakening that you want. So we're going to try to minimize, during the height of my travel season, minimize the need to air a repeat. So instead, Erin is going to step in on my behalf and run the show in my absence, so that you get a fresh perspective, so that it's somebody that you know and you're very comfortable with, and so that each week we're infusing new energy out into the world in a very positive way that isn't stale. And when I was growing up, there were like 3 networks, and when the season was over, and you just had to suck up the repeats all summer long or go do something else. I generally did something else. I just don't like to regurgitate the same thing when it's so readily available. So I called her and asked her if she would be willing to step in on my behalf from time to time, and she said yes. And of course, Lynn would do the same. So it's important to me that you love them as much as I do. And with that, I would like to, I only took 10 minutes to introduce her. I've done more. I've gone longer. So, so there's my Erin.
Hi.
And Lenny is in the chat. Anybody that has any questions for me, please contact her, answer whatever she writes, and she can always put you in touch with me through Buttercup Brigade, or we'll always find a way. We always do. So how are you tonight, my darling?
I'm fine, and you?
Good. I went to the chiropractor today, as you know, and I've been really struggling with a pinched nerve in my neck now for a couple of weeks, and I'm totally over this crap, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. So I told my father to call his chiropractor and get me in, and he did, and I'm on the mend now. I'm finally on the mend. I can turn my head a little bit. That's something.
That is something. Hurts so good when you go there.
It does hurt so good. Oh, especially the Atlas. Oh my God. When he did the Atlas, oh my God. Up off the table. So yeah, there's that. Peanut says hi.
Hi,
I don't know
Peanut.
where she is. Where's my dog? There she is. Oh, she's upside down.
Oh,
She's the upside down dog. She's laying behind the chair, all four in the air, like I'm going to stop and rub her belly.
Monkey's on the couch. He's curled up in the tiniest ball he can make himself.
He's just jealous. You're doing something besides paying attention to him.
Yes. His couch counterpart is not in her usual location.
Yeah. All right. We have notes tonight because there's so much to discuss. Thank you.
I know.
Okay. So I brought my notes. I brought I wrote something down on a Post-it note today.
Okay.
On a Post-it note, say hanging off. And I brought something else that I wanted to share. And then I forgot my glasses in the other room. So,
oh,
no. It sucks to get old. If you can avoid it, don't do it. Don't do it. So, nice. Here's the thing. You're going to, thankfully be willing to step in at any given moment to cover for me. Should I get stuck on a plane somewhere, or should I, be doing an event, or, I feel very comfortable. And, Erin, it's rare to find a person who like completely gets you in a short amount of time. I mean, we picked you. We just plucked you off a bench, unbeknownst to you. I don't think you even really knew who we were until I did my lecture like 2 hours later.
Well, yeah. I mean, we had met at the cocktail hour the night before, but I just saw the dog. So we didn't introduce, we just talked about Peanut. So I knew Peanut's name, but isn't that the way it goes with humans that meet dogs? You don't care about what the human names are. So, no, it did not dawn on me at that point. And I hadn't seen the movie either. And so I didn't know, hadn't read the books. So yeah, when we met, it gobsmacked me on a bench. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. And yes, I'm quite certain you are Arcturian. Quite sure of it. Mm-hmm. Got the eyes. You definitely got the eyes.
Yeah.
It's I have some people in my life who I love dearly, but I can only be around them for like 15 minutes at a time.
I have a few of those too.
Really, it's I can't really explain it. People, there's a certain energy. Mm-hmm. The earth itself has an energy, but we're all part of what energizes it. It energizes us. It is simpatico. It is we're in a lot of ways, we're leeches on this planet. We're the only creature on it that follows its own nest.
Yeah.
We just, I just can't even. I mean, what I'm watching, what I brought tonight, I don't mean I'll get on. I'm so befuddled. I'll get on track any minute now, but no, I will. No, I really will.
It's your show. You can do what you want. That's the best part.
I know. I had somebody call me one day, send me a message on Facebook. She said, I wouldn't care if you read the phone book. I could listen to you for hours. I mean, isn't that so sweet?
That's true.
The phone book is extremely boring. I had to try to remind her. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to show.
Yeah,
I hope so.
That's really pretty.
I got this from the Sierra Club, which I thought was so beautiful. And it is, the sunflower is the national flower of Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
What is happening over there is not just a human disaster. It is an ecological disaster.
Mm-hmm.
The particulates of burned oil that are going in every time a cruise missile lobs into an oil facility or blows up a gas facility or, sets a building on fire and everything that's in it goes up into the air. The carpet bombing destruction of a beautiful country with 1,000-year-old cities in it is happening on our watch.
Oh, yeah.
And so therefore, never again didn't mean that.
No.
Because here we are again, only this time with a proliferation of nuclear weapons, second to none in the world. They have the most.
Yeah.
And a maniac at the helm.
Yeah.
Sadistic son of a bitch.
No
and
doubt.
The damage that is being done to that country and to the whole world because of the indiscriminate leveling of that country has set us back as a planet with a shared atmosphere by decades.
Yep. Yeah.
And so I pray every day. I know you do as well. I pray every day that this will be over and that there will be accountability, that Putin will be held accountable, and so will all of his sycophants.
Yeah.
Anyone that helped perpetuate and propagate this evil act against peaceful people in a free country. That said, there's an awful lot to be happy about too, because this is something that people are talking about.
Yeah.
This is something that was not discussed. What is this doing to the environment? What is this doing to the world ecology? That wasn't discussed during World War II.
Well, and everybody can see it too. I mean, you have drones and cameras and social media, what little they have over there at this point, news. So you can't hide it like you could as easily as you could in World War II.
Yeah.
But the similarities, like you and I were talking about earlier today with the mass graves in Mariupol. I mean, so many of the things that are happening now are so almost exactly the same as what happened in World War II. And like you said,
heinous.
What did it mean? Never again.
Humanity.
Didn't mean anything. So.
Well, so what we need to do, and one of the reasons why I wanted you here tonight is because we have struck that balance energetically.
Yeah.
You are very grounded, very Mother Earthy. And you get it. You really do. And you work toward, with always the best of intentions, work toward making it a better world every moment that you live and breathe. And that is not just a chosen behavior, it's a mindset. It's ingrained, it's built in, it's hardwired into who you are. And I want people to know that it's okay to gravitate to another person. Oh God, I need more coffee. Oh my God, I'm going to be so wired after
Where's
the
Roger
show.
when you need him? I'm already on cup number 2 and I don't have anybody in the house to refill it. I need like go gadget arms into the kitchen.
Yeah, no, it's okay. He's watching a Christmas movie. He's so freaking depressed about the news that
I
he's like,
know.
I'm tuning it out tonight. I'm
Good.
just watching a happy Christmas movie where we all know the ending before the movie even begins. And he sits there, and I put a box of tissues next to him on his little side table because he always cries.
Mm-hmm.
He's so sweet. It's
He
so
is.
sweet.
He is so
My big,
sweet.
gruff, mean, badass father sits there and cries.
He's the cutest.
Only at Christmas movies. Well, not exclusively, but pretty much. So I think that what we need to do tonight with everybody that's with us, bless their hearts. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. Because we need a collective. You know, we've talked about this before. We need a collective. We need people who will come together in peace and joy and hope for the future. And, you know, metaphorically, telepathically connect, hold hands, be there for each other in the incredible lightness of our being, just to be there in spirit for one another and to connect in this unique way, in this platform, in this forum that makes us feel truly very connected. I mean, I go back and I look at the comments from, you know, the different places where the show airs, and I'm so touched.
Yeah.
And sometimes taken back, you know, like, wow, I didn't know that, you know, that particular sentence had that much of a particular impact, but it did for someone. And that's really how it needs to be, because I really do feel like we are among like-minded individuals who are working toward a specific goal with unified purpose.
Yep.
And that is to make the world a better world, to heal the world of its woes, to bring peace and love and joy and light into the world. And that's who comes to a world awakening.
Right.
That's who gravitates to this space. And sometimes we do talk about some difficult things, and I know you're up for that as well.
Yep.
You know, so.
Well, it's, you know, it's a place, you know, whether it's here or whether it's Soul School, it's a safe space for people to unload. You know, of course, with Soul School, it's really trying to get people to focus, singular intent, go within, you know, grieve, whatever it is you need to release. And, you know, we always talk about the duality of this journey, and you can't have light without the dark. And so you have to have a place where you can discuss the difficult issues. But what's great about this space is, regardless of politics, regardless of religion, regardless of insert your labels here, none of that matters in this space. And that's what makes it such a beautiful space, because people are free to express, be honest, open up, cry. I mean, it's just, it gives people a safe space. And even if they only get that once a week, that's better than not at all.
Yeah.
You know? So it gives people a place to unload and unwind, or whatever they need, they can get in either of those two spots. So it's important, you know?
It is. And I think it also provides people with the opportunity to think in ways that perhaps they have not.
Yep.
I think that the best way to change the world is to change our minds about what we deem acceptable and what we do not.
Yep.
And then to act accordingly.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were talking about
our 20-point bullet list here.
well, you know, but I'm going to see what really leaps out at me first.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And since we were talking about this horrendous war, I think that this too is part of the paradigm shift, that ongoing shift where on the other side, when everyone comes up for air, we will all have been profoundly changed
Yeah.
for the journey that we have taken over these years. And, we're into years of this now.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize it at first. I didn't. It did start before the pandemic. It did. But the pandemic was my wake up call that, okay, like, all right, this is it. Here it is.
Yeah.
And
It's happening now.
the piling on will begin.
Yep.
And then within a course of 6 months, George Floyd was murdered, and there was, complete societal upheaval, and as there should have been.
Yeah.
And not just here, but around the world.
Yep.
And then we started again dealing with issues that had filtered to the bottom of the cauldron and hit with a flamethrower.
Yep.
So that it boiled to the surface to be cleansed by the light. And I think that we are actually, with some things indicating that it is actually to the contrary, I think we are making strides. It's too slow. We're a slow burn. Human beings.
Yeah.
It takes us a while to change our mind. It certainly takes us a while to say, I'm sorry. It takes us a while to say, I was wrong.
Yep.
It takes us a while. And a lot of that, I think, is ego, which cast aside is probably the best thing that you can ever do for yourself.
And the hardest.
Like the best thing that you could ever do for yourself is to throw your ego's ass right out the door. Say no room at the end, no room for you here. Be humble and be holy in all things. And celebrate your space on earth as sacred.
Yes.
But that's a big leap for a lot of folks. It's not something that we can expect people to just automatically do, just change their mind about how they want their life to look and what kind of world they want for their kids and their grandkids, and to start paying attention, to come out of a state of either blissful ignorance or willful ignorance. One of the saddest things for me is for people who know the truth and choose to ignore it because it's just inconvenient.
Yeah.
Just like what Al Gore did in Inconvenient Truth. And here's the truth. We're killing our planet. It's our only planet. There is no planet B. There is no plan B. And we're killing our planet.
Yep.
And I think that I feel very strongly about this, very strongly about this. I think that part of the paradigm shift is going to be what we have discussed prior on the way back from Georgia the last time and since. And that is the rise of the sacred feminine energy. That is the rise of the divine feminine female power, the energy that we bring, and achieving an equivalency and a balance, a true balance of the energy between, masculine and feminine in the world, because men are not monsters. I know some extraordinary men, but there are a few male monsters on the planet who are threatening the existence of everyone else on the planet, and they need to go. They are pestilence, and they need to be wiped off the planet. And Vladimir Putin is one of them. He's not the only one. He's just the aggressor at the moment.
Right.
And I do believe that it is time for women to start rising in the ranks politically, socioeconomically, educationally, to make a mark on society that is unmistakable, that is equivalent to men in all ways, in all capacities, in all things, including equal pay.
Yeah.
That we live in a country where women still make 85 cents on the dollar for her male counterpart that does exactly the same job is fucking unacceptable. And it needs to change.
Yep.
And until men step up and say, you know what? This isn't fair. I make more money than she does, and she actually kind of works harder than I do.
Yeah.
And we do the same job in the same department. So, it's not until we start to achieve that kind of societal equivalency and regain autonomy over our own bodies and celebrate the sacred self in a way that perhaps we have not before, since we are the nurturers and the protectors and the ones that are propagating life rather than negating it.
Right.
I think that this is part of the shift as well. And I hope that everyone within earshot, anyone that sees this, processes this information, because it's not about women taking over the world.
No.
That's just another power grab. Have we not had enough of that?
Well, and I think too, it's, I never really understood the difference between masculine energy and feminine energy. I really always thought it was male, female. But we live in a world where, if masculine energy represents getting things done, being on track, task driven, right? Whereas feminine energy is more receiving, grounding, calming, nurture, that kind of thing. We live in a society where masculine energy has run the world forever because it's the thing that gets shit done. But in that process, we've buried the feminine side, the feminine energy. And so we also have to
exhume it
and balance the energies back out, because until we're able to do that, nothing changes,
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is going to take years more.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get to the other side.
Yeah.
Before we come up for air. I think that the best way to preserve, protect, and defend the planet is to do so fiercely and fearlessly and defiantly.
Yep.
Because the corporations who wantonly pollute and know what damage they're doing are not being held accountable. I'm insisting on justice and accountability in all things. That is also part of the paradigm shift.
Yep.
And I insist that we the people mean something. And I insist that never again means something. And with all my heart and soul, I put these thoughts out. Because why? Because thoughts are things.
Yep.
And so when we collectively think alike into the unified field of consciousness, we alter it.
Yes.
We alter it.
Yep.
We raise the vibration out of fear-based reality into a higher realm. If we don't, we are doomed.
Oh, yeah.
If we don't, we are doomed.
Yep.
And we can only save ourselves from ourselves. There is we are the divine intervention. We are the ones we've been waiting for.
Right.
There are a lot of great bumper stickers out there that are actually real.
Right.
We are the divine intervention. If you have any faith at all, even if your faith is that there is no God, even if your belief system is that there is no God, that you're an atheist, or choose to ride that picket fence that's very uncomfortable called agnostics.
Right.
It's okay to say I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, of course. But it's still a belief, right? So at least we believe
yeah,
in
it's still a
something.
belief system, and
Yeah.
belief systems are what fire the human engine.
Mhm.
What focuses the mind and sends us forth with a different trajectory.
Right.
But ultimately, these are cerebral activities. And what I want you to do tonight, and take as long as you want, what I want you to do tonight is that thing that you do. I do it too, but you do it better. Um, the grounding. Let's start this. We're 37 minutes into 2 hours. Let's start this by doing an exploration with you of the power, the connective tissue with you and Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. I think that the way that you speak about being grounded with the earth and acknowledgement, recognition of who and what she is as a living, breathing entity, hurling through space, is absolutely beautiful. So I would like to give you the floor, and you can call it a meditation, a prayer. Anybody can call it anything they want. There's post-it notes. Just put a post-it note on it. Just do what you do to help all of us get into the right and proper headspace for this episode of the show.
Okay. You want me to do an actual meditation with it? Let me kind of explain it first.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. So a lot of the work I've done over the last couple of years is a lot of working with the elements, and all four elements represent different things. So fire is transformation and change and releasing. And it's really kind of seemingly the first element people kind of walk into. Air talks about using your voice. Water talks about, as you so often say, flip it on your back and floating.
Yeah.
But earth is the grounding element. Had you asked me 3 years ago if I thought I was a grounded element, I would have told you not even close. But in all the energy work I've done and all the things I've learned over the years, is I have figured out I am a grounding energy. There's a lot of different benefits to grounding, and I'm only kind of giving kind of a general overview just so people can kind of know what we're walking into. We spend so much time of our day-to-day lives not connected to our bodies at all, especially women, right? We have such a hateful relationship with our bodies that begins at an early age, from TVs, magazines, take your pick. So women specifically, we start kind of shutting that feminine energy down young because we've already had it taught to us by society that we're not good enough as this is, right? So you've already checked out of your body. So the biggest thing that I learned when I started doing this kind of work was how important it is to be connected to this meat suit, for lack of a better phrase, because it will give you all the things you need to know, all the, different feelings that your body can come up with to either protect you, warn you, confirm, things like that. But you can't get that unless you're connected to your body. And then in a day of, social media and constant bombardment from screens and news and Facebook, and, it's just another way to deflect from that. So again, we're just focused on everything else, but except for what's going on directly here. So as an energetic sensitive, one of the first things I learned was how important it is to ground and protect your energy. Grounding just to make you feel connected to the body, like I said. It's also a really good touch point to have people visualize how to remove stress or anxiety or difficult situations and we'll do this in this little meditation that we do, where you sort of visualize that energy kind of pushing its way down your body through your feet and then giving it back to the earth, because we know that the earth is a natural transmuter of energy. It's the best one. And it's the fastest way to get rid of nervousness, anxiety. I mean, I stress with my clients all the time, we've got to teach you how to ground your energy, protect it as well, because it just allows you to think more clearly, be more aware of what's going on, but you're not so floaty headed and feeling disconnected. It just allows you to feel part of this earth. And the more you connect with that energy and the more you connect with Mother Earth, the better you feel. You know, I didn't start this work till about not even 3 years ago. But well before then, I always found myself at the beach. Like even in college, I went to school here. I didn't grow up on the ocean, but if I was sad, if I was depressed, if I was upset, I always somehow managed to find myself at the ocean. That air, that ionized air that naturally occurs in the ocean, is scientifically proven to be one of the best ways to reduce stress. I understand why I was doing that now. I didn't realize I was sort of already trying to ground myself, but I didn't know what that meant and I didn't have words for it. So for me, it especially with clients, it's really the base, like the building block of helping someone start their journey, because you have to be able to do that to really dive into this kind of work, I think. And then in this environment, it's the quickest, easiest way to kind of get back to yourself relatively quickly. I ground all the time. I have to. I mean, if I go to Target, I'm going to get sideswiped potentially by somebody who's had a bad day. And then I got to go home and stand in the grass.
Hose off. Yeah.
Hose off. Yeah. Energetically hose off, you know? I work with a lot of crystals. I work with a lot of earth elements as it is, because that's the best way that I've found for my energy to really connect. So I can do the meditation. I don't have music. I didn't think about that. But if everybody just wants to kind of close their eyes, I'm just going to kind of go through the meditation I do with clients. I won't take it quite as long. But if you want to go ahead and close your eyes, if you have music you want to turn on in the background, it's fine. Because for some people, this can be really awkward without music. I tell my clients that too, because they're like, oh, hey, I just hired you, and now you're going to expect me to know how to meditate. I don't. So what I want you to focus on is not clearing your brain, because that's the most misunderstood thing I think about meditating is people are like, oh, we have to be able to clear your brain. No, you need to be able to just sit quietly. That's all you got to do. The more you do that, even at small increments, the more you're just able to sit quietly with music or whatever, singing bowls, your brain over time will automatically start to quiet down, because your body, because it's grounded, understands it's time to get quiet now, right? Yeah. Okay, so if everybody wants to close their eyes or not, totally up to you. We're going to take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. We'll do 3. So first one in, and then out. Next one in, and then out. Final one in, and then out. And since you're focused on your breathing, you can start visualizing breathing in beautiful, clear, clean energy as it comes in through your nose, fills up your body. And then you're just breathing out anything that's negative or stale, stressful. So that's a good visual to start. And as you're working on your breathing, I always like to call in any guides or angels, family and friends on the other side. We always call in the galactic family as well. Mm-hmm. So if anybody's loved ones on the other side want to step in for this, we always welcome that. And then I want you to sort of visualize a golden light coming down from the cosmos. To me, it usually looks like kind of a tube coming down. And I picture it like warm, like honey, and it's really thick and shiny and glittery. And it comes in through your crown chakra at the top of your head. And hopefully you'll start kind of feeling that energy coming in through. And it works its way down, goes into your third eye chakra, which is in between your eyebrows. And it's filling up every cell, every nook and cranny. And it's making you warm, makes you feel good. And then it works its way down into the throat chakra. Next, it goes to the heart. And when it reaches the heart, I have it split and it works its way down your arms, down to your elbows, your forearms, your hands, your fingertips. And then it starts moving from the heart chakra down into your solar plexus, which is right between your rib cage. And then the next would be your sacral chakra, which is right at the base of your belly button, down to your root, the base of the spine. Then it starts its way down both legs, the knees, down to your feet. And that golden light comes out the bottoms of your feet. And now your feet have also sprouted tree roots. Now these tree roots can look any way you want them to. Green, brown, curly, straight, however it appears to you is completely fine. And that beautiful light and the tree roots join together and they start working their way down from your feet, down to your floor, basement, unless you live in Florida. And then it works its way down into the ground and they spread and they're really anchoring you super deep, holding you really close and protecting you. And those roots and the light go all the way down to the center of the earth. So now you're firmly attached and your body is filled up with source energy because that's what we're channeling here. And it's helping keep you anchored. And then from the center of the earth also comes a black light, equally as brilliant, just as shiny. And it works its way up the tree roots and the golden light. And this is a protective light. So it goes back up through the feet, up the legs, your knees, your thighs, your belly, your chest area, your heart, where it goes back down both arms to your elbows, your forearms, your hands, your fingers. And then it goes back up to the throat chakra, to your third eye, to your crown. And then that black light comes out through the top of the crown and it mixes with that golden light and basically puts you in a beautiful bubble of protection and groundedness. Let's do a couple more deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth while you kind of visualize and allow your body to feel what that safety feels like. You know, feel what it feels like to be connected to Mother Earth. You know, feel her calming power, you know, the groundedness she offers. So let's take our first one in through the nose and out through the mouth. First one in. And then out. Next one in. And out. Final one in. And then out. And you can also visualize anything that's, you know, causing stress in your life, anything you're worried about, anything you have anxiety about, you know, any kind of problems you've got going on in your life or with loved ones around you. Just visualize taking that energy and watching it or feeling it move through your body, right? All the way down. And then you can just visualize pushing it out through your feet into those roots. And you're basically giving it back to Mother Earth to transmute it to become clear, high vibrational energy. And you can just allow that to take over and just visualize all of that leaving your body slowly or quickly, however it works for you is fine. And just keep letting that energy move its way out. But then also remembering that you're filled with source energy right now. So appreciate that it's clearing its anything that it needs to. Source is an intelligent energy. It knows exactly where it needs to go with little to no guidance from anyone. Just the thinking of it, setting your intention, you know, whatever your affirmation looks like. You know, so oftentimes it's to clear negative energy. It may be to be more focused, more centered. You may want to set the intention to bring calm into your life. Whatever that looks like for you, you can do. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And we'll just do one more set of in through the nose and out through the mouth, and then I'll kind of walk you back out. So first one in, that clear, beautiful energy, and then out with anything negative. One more in. and out. Final one in. And then out. And now you can start to feel that black light starting to recede back from around your body and then in through the crown, back down your body, back into the center of the earth. And then the golden light that's currently anchoring you down and the tree roots also start to recede back up into your feet. And then I want you to visualize that source energy just staying in you, right? Effectively sealing it in, closing your crown. So it just, you're glowing and warm, honey, and just filled with magic is kind of what I like to say. And then whenever you're ready to start coming back into the room, people like to shake their hands or blink their eyes to slowly come back in. And that's your basic grounding meditation.
I have to go to bed now.
I can't believe I just did this on a show. Had you told me I was going to do this a year and a half ago, I'd have told you were out of your damn mind. But there's so much power in it. You know, and what I love about it is it's something you can do any day of the week, anywhere, anytime. You just got to be able to get outside and stick your feet in the earth.
Yeah.
You know, sand, soil, whatever. But the more grounding people can do, the easier it is to cope with some of what's going on in the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that looks like.
Well, and, you know, that's one of the things that I think is important, too, is that, you know, our proclivity is to need to label everything that comes down the pike.
Yep.
It's just our nature to do it. We compartmentalize everything. It's how we keep stuff straight in our heads because there's so much gobbledygook. But ultimately, when you get to a place where you can do in a couple of minutes silently for yourself what we all just did collectively, it doesn't matter if you call it meditation or saying a prayer.
Nope.
I mean, I hate to admit this, but every time I go outside to have a cigarette, I go elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not really 3D a lot. I'm looking up at the sky. I'm having conversations with the galactic family.
Yeah.
I'm, just.
You go somewhere else.
I do. I go and I need to. So grounding is particularly important for me because my head is in the clouds most of the time.
Yeah.
It's the only place where I can breathe. Being an air sign, Libra, I have to have air, fresh air, even if it's loaded with pollen and makes me cough. I have to.
True.
I'm only tethered by a toe to the planet. And so grounding is a necessary thing for me. And I will admit, today, being Earth Day of all days, I was sitting out there this morning and I noticed that there was some activity going on the terrace. And so I spent a few minutes getting kind of grounded back to earth, watching some froggy porn and some lizard porn.
No shortage of that in Florida. I saw some myself today too.
And the love bugs are back.
Oh God, yes. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw several mating pairs of them as well today.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, when you're watching something, and they have no shame. No. They have no need for any privacy whatsoever. They just, they just do the deed and don't care who's watching.
Right.
At all. And yet in those few moments, I felt so present on planet Earth.
Yeah.
I felt, and then Dad came out and we were sitting there chatting for a moment, and an absolutely beautiful hummingbird flew right under the pergola and onto the terrace and was within a foot or two of the both of us, as it, went kind of between the two of us, and greeted us and went over and helped itself to some of my blooming lantana,
Yep.
and then went on its way.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him and I said, I don't know why, but I feel like that was a sign from April, because hummingbirds were her favorite birds. They're my father's favorite birds. They're my mother's favorite birds. And yesterday I was sitting outside thinking about her and thinking about how much I miss her hug and how much I needed a hug from my sister, and how I could go get it, but I wouldn't be able to come back.
Yeah.
And just missing her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the phone rang. I went on to something else, and she came to me last night just for a hug.
Yep.
And I was off world again. I was somewhere, somehow, with her in spirit, not here. And I'm so grateful for that, because I have the ability to get the hell out of Dodge when I need to.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And I was so grateful that she heard me.
Yeah.
And so grateful that she filled me up, fulfilled my desire to hold her in my arms and to smell her sweet hair and to feel the soft peach fuzz on her cheek and just her warmth. And I had that last night. So,
well, nobody understands the power of intention more than you.
Well, but she heard me.
I know.
She knew.
Yeah.
I didn't have to even say it out loud. She heard me.
Mm-hmm.
And it brought joy to me at a time when joy is hard to find. It is a rare and precious commodity these days.
It is.
So,
but I think,
I get it.
You do. And I think too, you get, I think with grounding, the other thing that's important, which is what you just hit on the head, is taking that few minutes outside to notice the porn from the frogs and the lizards and the hummingbird, right? Like, we need more of that. I mean, maybe not the porn side so much, but just paying attention to what's going on around you. I had a sighting right 5 minutes before I got on here tonight.
Oh, cool. So cool. That's great.
So, and I have always looked up, but I never looked up with intent or purpose so much before. Yeah. And so, one of the first things I do if I start working with a client, because I did this myself, I'm one of those people, I'm not going to have you try something if I haven't done it myself. And I always suggest, make yourself write down 5 things. You and I talked about this. No matter how small or minute it is. Like, my coffee was extra good today. Just 5 things that made you either smile or kind of gave you pause about having a good day or whatever. Because you're actively now putting out the search for positivity in your day, Like, hi. Doesn't matter, hi, Peanut, how dumb that may be. It's forced, there's when we're drowning in so much negativity and chaos, the more grounded you get, the more you start looking for those opportunities in your day, right? And so the biggest thing I've learned from clients is, and I had the same thought, is I'm not nearly as positive as I thought I would. Hi, Peanut. See, like, Peanut. Appreciating puppy kisses, right?
Yes.
So it's
joy in my life right here. Joy. Yes, it's my baby. Okay, I need that nose.
She's like, I'm gonna chomp on your nose, Mom.
Yes.
But it's grounding is also a really important part of connecting with here too. Because unfortunately we do have to keep one foot here most of the time.
Yeah.
But it allows your energetic soul to be able to make that transition better, because at least your energy is in a good place. It's clear, it's clean, it's grounded.
Yeah.
You're able to make room for the good stuff in your life,
Yes.
And I think that's a lot of the power in energy healing. I didn't do any Reiki tonight, obviously, because there's not time for that. But by connecting with your body, connecting with the earth, you're giving yourself the energetic freedom to take in more good stuff, because we live in a world where we're so almost like you're filled up, like bandwidth would be, you just up to here. So you're angry all the time. You're pissed off. You're spouting off. You're freaking out over nothing. Did a lot of that myself. couple years back. But this allows you to start clearing some of that energy with the grounding, because you can visualize it pushing it out through your feet or wherever. For me, a lot of times it's my hands. But in doing that, you're energetically clearing space for the good stuff, you know? And the more negative stuff you get rid of, the more you can start looking for the bright spots in your day. You know, and as an energy healer, you and I have discussed this. I can't watch the news. I can't do it. I cannot do my job of trying to help people raise their vibrations, keep my own high, and then drown in that stuff. Like I can get like an update. I can focus on it for a few minutes and get, so I at least can stay current, and then I'm out. Because I can't do what I do otherwise. I can't keep people grounded. I can't teach people how to take their power back and clear that stuff out. Yeah. So grounding is the building block to me. Peanut agrees.
She does. She does. She has her preferences. She likes that, the Soundscapes music channel. Yes. She likes that very much. Yeah.
She does.
It's good. Well, the thing, she's such a baby. You're being a baby tonight now. You're just being a baby. Yeah, like I don't encourage it at all.
Not at all. Neither does your dad at all.
Oh, at all. At all. Yeah. So, okay. Look at this fat belly. Oh my God.
It's so soft.
So soft. So, one of the things that I wanted to address tonight, and I remember saying to you, make sure you add this in the notes. Make sure you add this in the notes, because this is something that I've written about in 4 of my 5 books. And it is the cosmic secrecy of seed, which I believe the phrase originated with Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings.
Yes.
Who I admire enormously as an author and a person. She left a real mark in the world. And that was, for me, the most poignant and profound, was extrapolating that phrase into something that is healing, something that is enlightening. And so I thought, on a rudimentary level, what is seed? Like when Mom and I were planting the garden up at the farm in Rhode Island, and the earth was dark, almost charcoal black in some places. And it was so pungent with an aroma that was absolutely intoxicating. And we would go up and down these rows that were laid out with long pegs and white string, and make sure that, the mounds were just right. And each seed that we put in, we knew would produce something magical. It was just a matter of time. And I grew up that way, honoring, without ever needing to label the process or the practice.
Yeah.
Honoring the planting of a garden. And I realized, the more I thought about it, that what I was doing was practicing the presence. What I was doing was divine.
Yeah.
What I was doing with my mother benefited everyone within our reach. We could never eat the amount of food that garden produced.
Right.
And so dozens, if not hundreds of people ate out of our garden every year, and bushel baskets would go, and they would be called and told to come and pick the garden and take whatever they wanted. It was like a community garden. It was a love garden. It was a sharing garden.
Yeah.
And in a way, it was a victory garden. The victory being the sense of community that was established around it.
Right.
Um, and it was a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I thought about seeds, we take a seed, we plant it deep in the earth, we water it. And between the pressure of the wet earth, water being so heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and the natural degrading of the outer shell of the seed, eventually, in pitch blackness, in the dark, it ruptures and sprouts. And then that tender, tiny little sprout crawls up through inches of heavy, moist, black earth, and then peeks through the surface and feels the sun for the first time and gravitates to the light. It
Yes.
gravitates to the light. It knows instinctively and intelligently
Mm-hmm.
what direction to grow in to go to the light.
Yep. Yep.
And then we get to watch it grow and blossom and bloom into the most spectacular variety of colors that the earth can promise any of us in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And what a miraculous, marvelous, magical process it
Right.
is. And each one of us comes from seed.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of us spends our lives planting seeds,
Right.
whether it comes from touching and feeling and growing with the earth,
Mm-hmm.
or simply planting seeds as ideas, concepts,
Yep.
wishes, prayers, thoughts out into the world. Out into the world. There's your buddy. There's your buddy
Monkey's
right there,
coming to
monkey.
say hello.
Can you see him? Can you see him? He's right there. You're not paying attention. He's right there. You're not. She's not.
He's not either.
She's
Well, and I think humans are very much, I think, talking about seeds, that's, I think for a lot of people, I know that's what my journey kind of felt like is, once I kind of found my thing, which is clearly this energy healing stuff, it was like, I changed color. My life changed. I felt brighter. I felt, my parents have always been like, I think it's, Mr. Rogers always said, look for the helpers. I think that's something my parents taught me. Is like, my parents were, my dad used to, there was some, crazy tornadoes in South Georgia. My dad's the first one to hop in the car with a chainsaw and whatever else and go flying down there to help. My mom raised service dogs for people with disabilities. My parents were always helpers. So they taught us the importance of
yes,
being helpers. But I think living in an unkind world a lot are those of us who are helpers can easily get thrown off course, and you're not necessarily, like, for me, a lot of it was like a people pleasing thing, but this journey has allowed me to refocus being a helper, but in helping other people become their own beautiful version of whatever seed they want to plant. And they're in charge of whatever that seed looks like.
yes,
But helping them find it, like find the seed and get in touch with the soul and really watch it take off for people, and it doesn't take much. People are coming out of the woodwork. They're looking for help in all kinds of ways. They're desperate to find that seed. They just don't necessarily know that that's what they're looking for. So for people like you and I, it's important. It's so important to help people find that, find the thing that brings them actual joy and enjoy it instead of, putting it on the back burner. Work. We live in a society where it's, work, keep working, work yourself to death and then die. I mean, that's really what we live in.
yeah.
And there's a lot of us who are just like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So you've got
time to reassess.
It is.
And you know what? People are, you hear a lot these days say, man, people are cracking up. They're just losing it. They're just off their game. They're off their schedule. They're off the plan. They're off, everything got kicked, to the curb, and they're reassessing their whole life path.
Yeah.
They're looking up to the sky and going, oh my God, have you been there all along? You know, they're feeling, sensing a presence around them that perhaps they've never felt before. There's definitely a shift underway, what I like to call the holy shift.
Yeah.
And
she is asleep.
I think, you know, ultimately when we do get to the other side being some form of spiritual ascension, these words might make more sense.
Right.
But I think that it is imperative that we at least consider the cosmic secrecy of seed, because as Leonard Cohen wrote, there is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in.
Yep. Yeah.
It is. You have to break open in the same way that we, humanity, must save ourselves from ourselves by pecking through our 3D shell and coming to terms with the true reality of our existence, which is that we live in a multidimensional universe, not a three-dimensional world. That is only a small part of our experience. But if we do not establish or reestablish our connection to Mother Gaia and honor her and protect her and defend her, the one who gave us life, if we do not, we will surely perish. She will go on without us.
Yeah. And she's revolting. You know, we're seeing unprecedented amounts of, you know, and I think in numbers of, you know, natural disasters and things happening in quick succession because she's had enough, you know. And I think, like you said, the more we can honor that, that's important. I mean, and I think for people too, to get in touch with that energy, because I think a lot of times people aren't aware because it's not that they don't have the verbiage. It's they don't understand maybe the feelings that they're having. I mean, why does everybody talk about how pleasant the ocean is? Why do people talk about the clarity they get in the mountain, or insert geographical location here? But it all ties back to earth energy.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're a person that lives in the city or you're a person like me who lives by the beach. I mean, we're all aware of it. It's just we don't acknowledge it, I think, a lot of times. And I think the more you acknowledge it and put your focus on how important that energy is, the more in tune you are with all of it. You're going to stop to take in, like you said, the hummingbirds, or, you know, my
Don't
sighting
forget
tonight.
froggy porn.
Froggy and lizard porn.
Yeah.
Love bugs.
Love bugs.
But you're just much more aware of what's going on around you. And you're much more aware of the things going around you that actually matter. It's not the Facebook stuff. It's not your job. It's not a lot of the things we put a lot of unnecessary focus on. If you can start getting back in touch with the beauty that's right in front of us all of the time, you're already shifting your vibration to be higher. Because it's funny, because on the vibrational frequency scale, Earth is actually the densest, most low vibration frequency, right?
Yeah. And yet, if you're tracking scientifically, if you've been tracking the vibrational field, of what's been going on the planet in the last few years, it has gone up and up and up and up. And it's not because, you know, the planet generally vibrates between 2.7 and 7.9. Right. I think it's megahertz or gigahertz. I can't remember which one. I'd have to look. Megahertz, I think. And last March, when the pandemic hit in March of 2020, it was vibrating at 170. Yeah. Not 2.7 to 7.9, 170. That was fear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it registered on techno machinery. You know, there's equipment that measures these things, and it was off the charts. And I'm absolutely certain it was fear,
Oh yeah.
because we were all
No one knew.
confronting our mortality simultaneously. All of us.
And
None
we
of
were
us knew how
drowning.
bad it would be.
Yeah.
If it had the potential to literally wipe out half of humanity, like the
It
Black
was
Plague,
it was
did as it
unbearable.
crossed Europe. Yeah.
I mean, energetically, if
It
those
was
of us,
unbearable.
it was. I remember telling my mom and my husband, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm like, I was starting to think I was having like heart issues. I mean, I literally felt like someone had dropped 100-pound stone on my chest and it just
Me too.
stayed there. And it
Yep,
took a
for
couple
months.
weeks to realize that I needed to increase my grounding to get rid of that, because and it has stayed that way. Obviously it kind of has tapered off with COVID, but then obviously when Ukraine hit, there's that 100-pound stone again in our chest. I mean, you and I in Savannah sitting there that night eating our Jimmy John sandwiches, looking at each other like, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck is happening? Like, because we were, we'd been at that house and had that experience anyway, so that didn't help. But like, we couldn't breathe, and it was just and even people who aren't sensitives are saying, I've got people come out all over the place. What is going on? I can't breathe. I can't focus. It's like explaining to people the effect of the collective energy, like you're talking about with, fear and things like that. We've been swimming in that for years now. Grief, panic, uncertainty, inflation. Take your pick of any negative vibrational energy. We've had it all at this point.
Yeah, people with empty bank accounts and children to feed, and no hope on the horizon in terms of a vaccine. We lived that way for months and months and months.
Yeah.
Energetically, I find that it was altering, in that it depleted a lot of people of their energy. I mean, honest to God, Erin, for the first few months, all I did was cry, sleep, eat ice cream, and watch the news.
Yeah.
Which, just exacerbated it. But I had to know. I always, me, I always have to know everything that's going on all the time, which is a blessing and a curse. A blessing for you, because if you don't want to watch the news, all you have to do is call me and ask me what's going on. A curse for me.
Andrea, the APNN, the Andrea Perrin News Network is what I subscribe to.
That's right. Yeah, I ought to start the Andrea Perrin Good News Network, because there's a boatload of really great stuff going on all around the world right now that people don't know anything about, because it's all doom and gloom and sadness and grief. And yes, all of this is very important, but again, balance. If we don't find a way, it's one of the reasons why I'm holding the Dink now, so that not only can I share this incredible energy, but I can share her cuteness factor with everyone that is watching the show. I mean, look at this. Look at this.
She's out too.
She is. If she starts snoring, though, I'm putting her down on the pallet.
Well, you might hear. Well, actually, hopefully you won't hear Monkey, because I got headphones in. But that dog can outsnore anyone. But it's. I think too. And you and I've talked about this a lot. The balance is very important. For me, I go the other way. Like, I just disconnect from all the news. I mean, I watch local stuff, and I'll get my little fix here and there. But I have probably gone a little too much the other way, because you do have to find a balance. But I think part of the problem is people they don't realize that. They don't play with energy like you and I do all the time. Yeah. So I think a lot, people are doing all kinds of crazy stuff that they wouldn't normally do. Because they're energetically filled up with stale, negative, bad stuff, but they don't know that. And they don't know that they have to get rid of it. Yeah. And once people start shedding that stuff, this light bulb goes off, like, oh, this is sort of what a moment of happiness feels like. Different. Yeah. Like you say, thoughts are things. So are the things we watch, the things we read, the people we deal with. Everything affects our energetic field. So you have a choice every day to decide what you put in your energy towards. And for me, it's like, I can't watch the news.
The Weather Channel is good. Not for nothing, but I really do think all of humanity ought to rescue a dog or a cat or a bird, or I don't care. You know, an iguana. Iguana, love you, come rain or come shine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, whatever floats your boat, whatever you feel drawn to energetically,
Yeah.
that is a living creature, a beta fish,
Right. For God's
anything
sake. Yeah.
that gives you something to take care of, something to worry about, something to protect, something to feed, something to care for,
Yeah.
in a way that gives of yourself to another living creature.
Yep.
That is an incredibly healing and energizing practice.
My parents are sitting there in Atlanta going, yes, 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 because they have always said that. Go out, do something for someone else.
If you want to feel better about yourself and your life and be able to count your blessings with relative ease, step into a world that bears no resemblance to your own. Go to a soup kitchen on Thanksgiving and help serve folks that would not have a meal otherwise had you not been there to do that for them.
Yep.
You know, each of us has an opportunity every single day, small, medium, and large, to make a difference in the world. And kindness is not overrated.
No.
Kindness is the way that we communicate with each other. You know, first of all, the eyes lock. You know, once that happens and you feel the other person's essence, you feel instinctively and automatically and organically feel their authentic self with that.
Yes.
When that happens, then you go from there.
Yeah.
And when you realize that just a smile can save another person's life, who is in the depths of despair and feels completely isolated and alienated from everyone around him or her, and in the midst of a decline to an inevitable death, a smile, a hand on the shoulder, can I help you with that?
Yeah.
Can make all the difference in that person's life. And it is unquantifiable. You will never know what you did, but you made an effort to do something, to engage with someone who might be the loneliest person on the planet, but you don't know that.
Right.
Because they won't let you see that. That's something to be hidden. And so what do you have to do? You have to crack open that shell with kindness and let in the light and be that light.
Yeah.
And that is how we heal the world.
Yeah.
So it's really all very simple. I mean, all anybody has to do is just take some notes. Get a puppy.
Rescue.
Yes.
Puppy or adult dog,
or a kitten or an older animal that has been abandoned, that needs a loving home for the end of its life, and be that special person for that special creature that deserved better. Be the better. Be the better. Do that. And then give of yourself, and what you will receive in return will not only ground you to Mother Gaia, but you will be mothering something that needs you, someone who needs you. Give of yourself. Get a puppy, get a kitty, and then step out into this world every day with a sense of hopefulness in the midst of despair, in the midst of the grief, in the midst of the fact that you just turned off the TV and walked out to go get in your car and go to work, and you just saw a drone shot of something so horrible that it has been impaled into your mind and memory for the rest of your life. And take that with you too. Take that balance with you too. Because we cannot afford to become impervious to what is happening on this earth. We cannot afford to become inured to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we can certainly not afford to become beings that are capable of saying, oh, there's always a war going on somewhere on the planet. It's their problem, not ours.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's ours.
It's a human
because
problem.
Everything is one thing, and everything is energy, and everything is consciousness. And there is a unified field of consciousness in the same way that there is an atmosphere that encircles this entire planet that we all share all the time with every single breath we take.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the light bulb for people, I think, a lot, is understanding energy on even a basic level and the power it has in our lives every day. I mean, you talk about our own energetic field, the one that goes in through our feet, up out our head, and goes out 3 to 5 feet. Everybody's got one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you're constantly crossing other people's energy fields. People are angry. People are, so the more you're aware of its effect in your day-to-day life, the better off you can ground, protect, and decide what you take into your energetic field. Like, I'm super, super, super picky about what comes in and out of my energy field now. I mean, you know how sensitive I can get with stuff energetically that
You think?
I'm in my condo a lot, but I like it because it's salted and it's saged and the people are nice in here, Well, it's usually just me and the dog because Justin travels quite a bit, but it's nice when he's here too. So, I think too, and I remember Glennon Doyle, the author who wrote Untamed, which is one of my favorite books ever, talked about how she and her wife and their kids decided they would make their home their island.
Yes.
They only let good in, right? They have complete control of the energy in that house. And so I kind of took note of that. Like, so now my house is my safe space. And sometimes people will be like, well, can I come over? And I'm like, how much saging am I going to need to do after this? But, I get to decide, right? Like we get to decide who comes in and out of our field. I get to decide every day what the energy in my house is going to be like. I can't control what's out there.
Right.
But I can control what's in here. I can control how I react to the things out there. But I think the more people are aware of the power of energy and the more people start to come together in kindness, in service of others, they don't realize it, but they're already raising the vibration and the frequency of the earth. And so the more people focus on that, again, that's that singular intent.
Yeah. And it is always going to be immeasurable and unquantifiable.
Right.
There's no way to count it.
There's not.
In the same way that tossing a pebble into the center of a pond.
Right.
We can't measure the impact that concentric circle is having on the surface of that water as it finds its way to the shore. And when that wave of energy ceases to be visible to the naked eye, it's still there. Yeah. It's still traveling from that initial tossing of the pebble into the pond.
Oh, 100%. And people are that way.
I just say, fill your pockets with pebbles.
Yeah.
And go out into the world and start tossing them one after another. Every little kindness extended makes a difference in the world. Every single one. Even if it's just holding a door for an elderly person that's struggling out of a grocery store with a bag.
Yep.
Offer to take the bag, offer to walk them to the car, hold the door.
Yep. It's just as easy to be kind and to put out good vibrations.
It's easier.
Negative. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But,
it's easier.
People are so used to this dark, dense shit we've been swimming in. What do you call it? The malaise and the morass of the environment we're in now. But you still have a conscious choice, right? Like, we can't control everything that's going on around us. But to your pebble in the water, people are the same way. Like, I'm always shocked, and I know you are too. We talked about this recently. When someone's actively raising their vibration or doing that work to really start to vibrate higher, to ground, whatever you want to call it, that also is like a pebble, because then the people around you start kind of, without knowing it, that sort of starts happening to them too.
Ping. It's like synapses sparking in the brain. It's
So it's the
just
same with that.
automatic.
Yeah. So like if I start mine and, maybe 3 or 4 people around me somehow start finding theirs, and then it just keeps going. So as a collective, I know I can't do anything necessarily specifically to help Ukraine in their battle, right? But I do know that I can help other people raise their vibration so that we are consciously raising the collective as a whole. So the more people that we can reach on an energetic level and raise the positivity and the vibration, that helps everyone.
It does.
And that's how we change the world. Now, will we be around to see it all play out? I don't know. I don't really care. I'd love to see it, but I know that I can do energy work and Reiki and things like that. So I'm trying to do my part, because at least that's something I know I can do to help. So many people are kind of paralyzed because they don't know what to do.
Well, and that's another thing. And I'm glad you brought that point up too, because I've had a number of people just, coming and going through my life that have said, God, I wish I had millions of dollars so that, I could contribute to, the World Food Kitchen or UNICEF or, any number of, that I could do more,
Yeah.
I sent $50. That's all I could spare. Well, not only is that wonderful that you did that, but if you live in this country right now, you'd be amazed how many of your tax dollars are going across the ocean, going to help feed people, house people, bring people into this country.
Right.
And of course, provide weapons for not just the defense of Ukraine, but the offense of Ukraine, because damn it, there are some things worth fighting for in this world. And freedom and democracy are 2 of them.
Yep.
And I deplore war. I deplore it. They didn't start it, but I do believe they can finish it.
Agreed.
And there's no room for being passive about this. There's right and wrong in this world, and what is happening to the people of Ukraine is pure unadulterated evil. And good conquers evil and love conquers fear, but only if we use love properly. And that is as a verb, not a noun. Just because it says it's a noun in the dictionary, that's incorrect. It is an action word. You have to take the love that you feel and the compassion that you feel and the sympathy and the empathy that you feel and turn it into action in some way, shape, or form. And if you've done what you can, sent what you can, know that there are many, many others that are contributing on your behalf, and that this is from our nation to theirs, a collective effort to aid them in all ways. And so each and every one of us is contributing to that cause. And instead, do this. Instead, be quiet, be mindful, go within your own soul and core and sacred self, and pray and meditate and see the light on the other side of this incredible darkness. It might be a pinpoint at the furthest reaches of the universe right now, but it's there. And then find our way together to the light. Find our way to the light. It is more than a metaphor. We live in duality.
We do.
There is a constant conflict between good and evil ever present on this planet. And it is incumbent upon us to identify it, to target it, and to stomp it dead.
And only love can do that, as we both know.
That's right. And that's not counterintuitive.
No,
that's being a spiritual warrior. And I tell you, Erin, the vast majority of the people that are tuned in and turned on to this show and others that are similar in terms of messaging. They get it, they hear it, this inspires them, it lifts them up, and it helps them go on in some small measure. And it makes a difference in the world. I am now convinced of that. And there was a time when I really wondered, how many people are we actually reaching? Is this, are we really making a difference in the world? Is this worth the time and the effort? Absolutely. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Yes, it is. I'm very careful and deliberate about who comes here with what message. I'm not a provocateur. I don't bring on these big celebrities that are just basically out there, blowing their own horn and, touting themselves. I bring on real people who are involved in spiritualism, involved in paranormal, in the paranormal field, somewhere under the umbrella, people who are, brilliant and beautiful and have something to share, have had experiences, or have done such extraordinary research that they deserve the venue to share with the world what they've learned. And that's the whole purpose and the point of doing this show, of putting this broadcast on every week, not for ourselves, although I will openly admit it helps me in myriad ways and lifts me up myself. But, to put this kind of love out to our collective tribe, those who really do understand and are seeking some validation for where they're at right now, and who are eager to ascend to a higher level of consciousness and awareness, that this is a respite and a refuge, just like Soul School is. A place to hop in, drop off the planet for a little while, so kind of sink into your computer screen and meld with us, mind meld with us.
I didn't know about any of this stuff 3 years ago. I mean, I'm a person who at the time I was, great job, which I left not too long ago, marriage, beach condo, but I was so miserable and I didn't understand it. I didn't know what I was missing. So I feel like the more people I can help them find what they feel, maybe I can't tell you what you're missing, right? Like, that's not my goal.
Right.
But if I can set an example based on the journey I've had and say, this is absolutely possible to my life is totally different. A lot of that's because of you, and especially in the last couple of months. But I made the conscious decision last year that I wasn't going to do this anymore. I couldn't stay in this job. I couldn't, energetically, I was dying, basically is how I felt. I couldn't.
Well, there's nothing easy about being a paralegal. I've known several, and it is a soul-sucking job.
It is, especially as a sensitive, you just can't. And then so after, 3 to 4 months of being away from it, the amount of energy I got back, because I wasn't mired in that bullshit all day, every day. I started seeing pretty massive shifts for myself. I've already had some, but I started really understanding the importance of being immersed in all that negativity all the time. So it's like, once you kind of start to get the tools and understand, meditation or whatever it is that you need, that's really my goal, is to help you get some tools in your tool belt to kind of help you start your path, find your own journey, whatever it is. I just want to kind of give you a kick in the pants to get you going. You have to start being really selective. And in a time when things are so scary and so negative, I'm grateful that I have the tools now to be able to stay grounded and then help others do the same, because I'd have floated away a long time ago. I don't know, honestly, and I talked about this the other day. I've been sober almost 7 years. Had I not started this stuff before COVID started, I don't know that I would have stayed sober through COVID, to be honest with you. I didn't have any tools. I had shitty coping skills, and I would have had way too much free time.
Yeah.
It's changed my life, just understanding energy. And then in turn, I'm now able to be in a position where I've learned a lot I'm still learning always. You know me. I love to I can't learn enough. But now I'm able to give it back. And that is what I also think is so important about this stuff. The more you're able to raise your vibration, the more you're able to connect with energy.
Yeah.
You should be able to give it back to someone else, help them start their journey, help give them the tools to survive in this crazy shit we're living in.
I know. And, that's the thing, Erin. It's like, the earth needed to have a higher vibration.
Yeah.
But what we have to transform that fear vibration into a love vibration. That's what needs to occur.
Yes.
And vanquish what is destructive to the planet and who is destructive to the planet.
Yeah.
And then smash that template.
Yes.
Smash it.
Yep.
Never again. Cannot be duplicated again. And rewrite history. And take control of our world, our planet, and master our own minds, master our emotions.
Yep.
Take ego and set it to the curb. It always runs from behind and catches up a little bit here and there. Every now and then it'll cling on for a minute, but
anyone who says otherwise is lying. Just personally.
Right. Exactly. But for the most part, it really serves no purpose. It
serves fear. And it serves keeping you, it's like you and I talked about, and I think I talked about it on Friday when I hopped on with you and Jeff. At some point, we go through our lives being comfortable. Like, we talked about the tightrope, my mom's favorite analogy of, doing the things you have to do through it. But anything else outside of your normal daily routine is going to knock you off. Right. Yeah. But just making the conscious decision to start making a choice to take your power back, and that you own that energy, and that you can choose to live your life differently if you want to, and it's not an easy journey. And like you said, ego is always a pain in the ass, but you still can make a choice. Right. You can choose to lead with fear, or you can choose to lead with love. You can't have them at the same time necessarily. Right. You have to lead with one or the other.
They counteract each other, but love is the antidote to fear, which is toxic. It's poison. It undermines us in every conceivable way. Yep. And we're coming through this period where we are facing, as humanity, we, capital W, capital E, facing legitimate fear.
Yeah.
It is legitimate to be fearful that, monsters on the other side of the world are going to indiscriminately blow up a nuclear power plant. They don't have to drop a bomb. Those things are a bomb. And if they are hit at the right angle and they do enough damage, the entire world will be impacted by that singular event.
Yep.
We all saw the fallout literally and figuratively from Chernobyl.
Oh, yeah.
Which is ongoing. It will be thousands and thousands and thousands of years before the earth has been able to cleanse itself from the disaster at Chernobyl.
Well, how much did they just add to it?
And then Fukushima Daiichi. We need to make some really, really big decisions about this planet and our presence on it. And I have always been of the school of thought that just because we can do something doesn't mean we necessarily should.
Yep. 100% agree there.
And, nuclear energy is used in medicine. It's used for a variety of valid and valuable purposes. But we are never going to be in a position where we have complete, utter control over it.
Yeah.
And we are never going to be in a position where we can dispose of what is the remains of any given day in a nuclear power plant or a facility that's enriching uranium. We don't have any place to put it but here. Um, and slowly, the international atomic monitors slowly raise the level of the radiation that is in our air that we are taking in every single day, raising that level so that this is acceptable.
Right.
No, it's got to go up a little bit. This is acceptable.
Yeah.
And we need to raise it again. This is acceptable. We're killing ourselves and this planet.
Yep.
Between COVID, a legitimate fear, and the nuclear fallout from Chernobyl, Fukushima Daiichi, the nuclear submarine that went down in the Baltic, that Russia certainly didn't let the world know about that explosion, how many people really died,
Right.
how much was spewed up into our atmosphere, what damage that is doing to the planet. And all of these, things are happening. The northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere are impacted by these events. It's all one atmosphere sealed in with an ozone layer that's about as thin as a piece of paper in comparison to the size of the planet and what it's holding in.
Yeah.
When the pandemic first hit, do you remember how the whole freaking world shut down? And all of a sudden, the air cleared.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, animals started coming out of the forest and looking around like, where'd all the people go?
Yeah.
I can cross this road and not become squash.
Right.
Really? And that went on for months and months. And, people in Mumbai could see the Himalayas.
Right. For the first time
in their lives. Milan has now banned cars so that you can either ride a bicycle or a little rickshaw, or you can just walk around Milan, Italy. But you're not allowed to bring your car into that city anymore because it pollutes the air. We learned some lessons from the pandemic.
How much of that old normal
bright spots.
How much of that old normal do we really want to go back to?
Well, here we are, with our backs up against the wall, having to pump more oil, pump more gas, fill in the void of sanctioning Russia.
Yeah.
And so in the short term, we don't really have a choice. We have to fill that void.
Right.
Or the countries that are getting their main supply of fossil fuels from Russia will have to continue to do so, which will continue to fund the war.
Right.
So, we're in the midst of, thank you, Bill. We are in the midst of making some big, tough decisions, my darling. And we all need to be on the same page, and we all need to, be on this together. So, why can't we right now, out of sheer need, pump more oil, pump more gas, do what we need to do in the short term? Meanwhile, how about we take the whole solar panel industry back from China and make them on our own property in our own backyard and be the world's leader in wind power, solar power? If we've got oceans that are rising because of the rising temperature of the earth, and yet we've got places that are dying from drought on the planet, which is causing more forest fires, which becomes a vicious cycle.
Yep.
Why not, with the rise in the sea level, start drawing some of that water off through desalination plants and replacing the water in the aquifer under the richest land in this country, which is the great big valley of California?
Yeah.
There's got to be, where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a problem, there is a solution. And if we approach this Earth Day and every day after it with that kind of tenacity and that kind of intention, then damn it, we can make this world a better place, and we can leave it better than we came into it. And even though the human life expectancy at this juncture is actually dropping, how about we make the most of every moment that we've got on planet Earth? How about that?
And lead with love instead of fear as best as you can.
Love. Lead with love.
Yep.
Well, I love you. I love you. Lenny. I love Bill. I love you all. And I thank you all for joining us tonight as we wind down this Earth Day episode of A World Awakening. We do need to wake up. We need to wake up knowing that when we wake up, we can't go back to sleep again. We can't turn our back on this. We must move forward, hopefully and fearlessly, to the extent that we are able to move forward fearlessly and dare to have hope and be the beacon, be the light. Let your seed rupture and crack wide open. Cry your eyes out when you need to. Laugh too loud. Dance naked in the dark if you want. Whatever brings you joy and uplifts you into a higher consciousness of all existence and brings you into the unified field and allows you to believe and feel your own source energy within you and believe in your superpower, which is love. I love you, Erin Bush. Thank you very much for all that you contribute and bring to my life, and to your parents and Monkey Man, who I've seen him walking around.
He's over here snoring on the floor.
Yeah. Peanut says good night to all. Good night,
princess.
And I love you.
I love you too.
I love you all. Happy Earth Day.